Gaming on a laptop in the 2000s was an interesting time, with flash games, PC CD-ROM games, and games that made your laptop spit hot fire and burn vent holes into the side of your leg because the laptop couldn't keep up with the demand that you threw at it, leaving you with near second-degree burns that lasted for weeks. I don't know if it was just me, but my Dell Inspiron would get so hot that it would sometimes crash the whole system, and I'd have to let it sit for at least an hour before I tried to turn it back on. Oh, those were the great times. Sometimes even the games I tried to play, my laptop didn't even meet the minimum requirements, but I pushed on to hopefully get the experience of playing a newer title, to my laptop's dismay. Here are some games that I used to play in the mid to late 2000s that would set my laptop ablaze. Starting off, we have what used to be a free game to download, and it was super simple yet simply amazing, and that's Sumotori Dreams. Back then, my underpowered Walmart special of a laptop would run this game just fine, but boy would it crank up the heat. I would spend hours instead of doing my homework, watching these block bimbos tumble all over the place like two drunk friends fighting over the last chicken wing at a frat party. Basically, what you do is when you start the match, you can mash either one-handed or two-handed attacks, sometimes to your own dismay. The physics are still absolutely hilarious, and watching them stumble still makes me laugh. Oh my god, I love this game. Oh god, look, he's bent over just waiting for it. Censor it, censor it! Okay, now he's just literally waiting for it again. Stop it, look away! There are a small load. Wow, that was the wrong phrase to use right there. Anyway, you can do up to a 2v2 or a 4-person mayhem-filled madness match. You can switch arenas to a kitchen, some sort of a balance beam, and my favorite, the stairs. The way they just hopelessly flop all over the place, or run into each other, or fall down, it's a grand old time. If you haven't played this, I'd highly recommend it. Next up is Battlefield 2142. Being a young lad, we couldn't always afford the vast library of games that I own today, so when I bought a new computer game, I had to do so with the utmost certainty of what I wanted to play. That wasn't the case with this one. Somehow, a family member gave me this game before they even played it, so the activation key was still intact. I didn't know anything about computer specs back then, so I figured, hey, let's just install it and play it like I do on my PS2. No, it does not work like that. Being an idiot, I installed the game, went through the whole process, got to the main menu, so far so good. The second I launched the game, it would either crash or be running at like 10 frames a second, while my fans on my laptop revved up like a granddad who ate a whole plate of beans at the family picnic. Yeah, I remember, Grandad. I was so disappointed. Not only did I install a game that was unplayable on my Walmart special laptop, but I also got third-degree burns on my legs from the laptop going into overdrive. That day, I learned that not everything is plug and play like my PS2, but rather your system has to meet specific requirements to even play the damn thing. It was a life lesson, but over 20 years later, I was curious. What is the game actually like? What did I miss out on way back then? I have years of Battlefield experience under my belt from Bad Company to 2042. As far as I know, the online servers are pretty dead, with a few dedicated ones you can find online, but I didn't want to go through the hassle, so I played single player. Honestly, the game isn't really all that special, but I will say the classes, the feel, and the walkers you can ride in does make it a pretty fun experience, and I would have loved this back in the day. The AI, however, and no, not the AI that makes videos like this, is pretty dumb to say the least, but maybe that can be said about all AI. They'll either just stand there to be shot at while sometimes shooting back, or try to knife you a mile away. If they are in a walker, however, they become the most deadly unit in existence. There was one game where my team was in the lead, so I decided to see if switching teams was an option, and I still won. I don't know how that happened, but my god was it glorious. Next on our list is the OG Soldier Front, which I used to play on idg.com, where you could also play Drift City and Gun Z, which were fire back in the day. Soldier Front was my go-to online experience back then. I had to lower some settings a bit to get it to run smoothly, and it was needed. Gameplay is similar to that of Counter-Strike, where you buy certain guns to start, you can choose which class of soldier you want to be, and dress them to the nines with cosmetics and armor. Players would corner hop and blast you with a sniper rifle if you didn't react in a split second. The gameplay is pretty basic from today's standards. I guess a similar comparison would be Counter-Strike, and those were always more popular. And dear God, was the glitching and hacking prevalent more than ever in this game, where you could see through walls on certain maps and just rack up kills, or people would literally just shoot you before you could say quack. But did I still play it? You bet your bottom dollar I did. I racked up hundreds of hours in this game, and I got pretty decent at it. But today, it doesn't really exist. But they do have Soldier Front variants, which I played for this video, and the servers are deader than your dog from 15 years ago. I found a couple guys to play with who barely spoke English, so I just ran around trying to get used to the mouse and keyboard again, because the controller is superior in every way. I got stomped pretty hard, but I did manage to get a few kills in, so that felt pretty good. All in all, I miss how games were back then, even if they were janky or broken from hackers who ruined every lobby. It was just a special time, you know? If you know, you know. Lastly, we have the game I soaked up the most time in on my laptop, giving me marks on my legs from the heat it would generate from the hours of gameplay on a daily basis, is Age of Empires 3. Specifically the War Chiefs version. I remember buying this game with my own hard-earned cash, and by hard-earned, I mean doing simple like taking out the trash or doing okay in school. My parents were just happy if I passed, let alone succeeded. Anyway, this game ran perfectly on my laptop, as it wasn't a very super demanding title, but demanding enough that it put my laptop through the works. There was a campaign, which in my opinion was one of the best in the series. You could play online, which I was terrible at, so I constantly got my pushed in, and there was Skirmish and Supremacy, which I spent most of my time in Supremacy, as it's the most common game mode. Here you build your civilization from nothing to a grand empire, while fending off attacks from your enemies or building an army to sweep them off the map. I still play it from time to time today when I get the chance. You can choose from several different countries or tribes if you have war chiefs installed, each with their own strengths and weaknesses, and their own types of soldiers and buildings. I swear, on hard difficulty the AI cheats, because they gain armies and build way faster than you do, and I've heard it has to do with the cards you can unlock for fast whatevers, but I think they're cheating. If you want to be a real pain in the ass, you can type in tuck 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 in the game's chat to summon a goddamn monster truck, which instantly obliterates everything in its path, guaranteeing you a swift and merciless victory. Is it cheating? Absolutely. Is it fun to do? 1,000 times yes. I haven't played Age of Empires 4 yet, but it's on my to-do list. My backlog of games is way too massive. I feel like a lot of people have the same problem I do. One day I'll get to it. One day. And there you have it. A few games that I had back in the day that would scold my leg with hot fire from my laptop vents while I pushed it to the extreme. If you like this video, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Adios.